Hey guys, how's it going? Just wanted to give you part two of your clipping mask portrait assignment. Some details for that. Two things that I want to show you today. First is how to get your photo available on your computer. So I'm assuming most of you guys shot your photo on your phone and then uploaded it to Google Classroom right straight through your phone. So, but of course, to use Photopea, you need to have it have access to it on your computer. So. If you have another way of doing this, that's fine. You're welcome to do that. But here's just a quick way to make that happen. Okay, so here I am. I'm in Google Classroom. If I go to part one here, where I've already turned my assignment in, view assignment. All right, here is my portrait file, the photo that I've already uploaded. If I just click on that, and for some reason it won't let me download it right in this tab. So if I click on this vertical dot 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 and go open in new window, then I can get access to the download button. Here it is. Okay, so if I click download, that should take care of that. I've tested this. It works on a Chromebook and everything, so you should be good no matter what platform you're working on. Okay, so now I have my photo on my computer. Now I'm ready to start the actual Photopea file. Okay, so I'm going to head over to my Google Drive. We've done this before. I'm going to click New, More, Photopea. Okay, get this out of my way. All right, so this is going to be E10, your last name, your first name, and let's see if I can spell my last name correctly. There we go. Okay, we're going to switch units to inches, and it is going to be 8.5 wide and 11 high. All right, that's a normal sheet of office paper. DPI is going to be 120. All right, go ahead and create that. Good. Okay, so now I'm ready to add my photo to it. So File, Open and Place. And I'm going to go into my downloads. Now this window, of course, will look different depending on what operating system you're on. So if you're on a Chromebook or Windows or whatever, it will look a little different. But you should be able to get access to the photo. That is not the photo. Okay. There we go. So now I've got my photo. Great. So now I want to show you a new tool. We've been working with selection tools. Well, we were working with selection tools in GIMP before school closed. So let me show you a new tool. This one's actually really nice. GIMP doesn't have this tool, but it's modeled after a tool that's in Photoshop. It's called the magnetic lasso tool. All right. So if you click on this little thing here that looks like a cowboy's lasso, you click and hold, you'll see this little pop-up window. And anytime you see, by the way, one of the tools, you see how it has that little tiny corner in the bottom right? Anytime you see a tool that has that, that means that there are multiple tools hiding inside that one tool. If you click and hold, you'll see a flyout window that has different options in here, okay? So the magnetic lasso is the one I want to show you guys today. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. So the way this thing works is it looks for an edge, and it defines an edge as sort of like contrast. Okay, maybe we have one color area over here and another color area over here. For example, let me zoom in on, say, like my jacket here. All right, so it's going to say, okay, well, this sort of dark gray area has got to be an object. And then this white area here has got to be a separate object. All right, so that line where the gray and the white meet has got to be the edge. All right, and this is all the computer sort of making assumptions, but it works pretty well a lot of the time. All right, so what it's going to do is it's going to magnetically sort of like suction right to that edge, and this is going to make a selection for us when we're all done using it. So this is a pretty handy tool. It can definitely work pretty well. And So all you have to do is just start. I would start at the bottom of the photo and just click right on the edge. And then all you have to do is just start moving your mouse. You don't have. You can let go of the button. You don't have to hold it. Just start moving your mouse, kind of following along the edge of you. Okay, and you can, in the middle of this operation, you can hold down the space bar and click and move with your mouse so that you can pan around. You want to be fairly zoomed in while you're doing this, so you're going to want to do that. All right, so just follow along the edge of you and just make your way all the way around yourself. All right, at any point, if it gets a little confused, like see right there, you see how the line is kind of going out from my neck? I don't really want that, so I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to actually click, and it's going to force a point. If you look really carefully, you can see there's a tiny little square right here. All right, that's a point, and no matter where I move my mouse, that point is going to stay. It's kind of like an anchor, okay? So anytime you're like, okay, I like that, I want to force it to stick there, or if you're having issues with it, with the line kind of straying away from the actual edge of the object, you can go ahead and click, and you can add as many anchors as you want. Okay, so if you're having issues, you can definitely start clicking a whole bunch and adding lots of anchors. You don't really need to do that in most cases, but it can help you to force the line to follow the actual edge if you're having issues. Okay, now I'm coming into hair here. Most of you guys, I'm assuming, are going to have very similar issues where hair, it struggles, okay? And really a lot of selection tools are going to struggle in this case, okay? So if it's not perfect, you're going to be fine. I would err on the side of cutting in a little too much as opposed to not cutting in enough, because what happens when you don't cut in enough is you end up seeing a lot of that background, which doesn't really look great. So like, for example, here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to back up and I'm going to kind of force it to cut a little bit deeper into my beard here. All right, and so I'm adding a bunch of extra anchor points. All right, and it's following along, and I'm just making my way along here. Okay, if at any point you change your mind, say you put an anchor point, say here, and you're like, oh, that was bad. What do I do now? If you hit the backspace key, it will delete the last anchor point, and you can keep going with that, deleting and deleting, okay, as far as you need to. So that's a nice, handy way to make it happen. Okay, so now you got to keep in mind as you're using this tool that it is sort of a combination between it's being guided by where your mouse is and it's using that sort of magnetic edge finding feature that it has. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are following the edge with your mouse because that's sort of the main guide that it's using. And then it's looking for an edge close to the path that you've sort of gone over with your mouse. All right, so feel free to be clicking as much as you want. You'll kind of get the feel for it, and it really depends on your particular photo. Do you have, oh, see, look at that, it just like cut my nose off. I don't want that. So that means I need to add an anchor point like here before I go too far, and it's like, yep, I'm going to cut your nose off. What was I saying? Yeah, you'll find that it really depends a lot on the amount of contrast. Okay, so the closer the edge of the object is in color and brightness to the background, the more this thing's going to struggle. Okay, so that's why it's a good idea, if you haven't shot your photo yet. And by the way, you should do that first. Obviously, you're going to need your photo in order to do part 2 here. But if you haven't shot your photo yet, having one that has good contrast. If you look at mine, you see I have a nice clean wall. It's pretty much white. That helps a lot with this. It makes the job of cutting things out a lot easier. All right, here I am. I'm in some hair again. Again, I'm gonna err on the side of cutting too much, just so that it looks a little cleaner. Okay, so once you get all the way around yourself, just click on the original anchor point, first, the starting point, and that will then convert this whole thing into an actual selection. So you'll see the sort of like the black and white dashed lines, It's a little different here in Photop, but what it does is the same thing. Okay, so let me move myself here so we can see the layers. The layers palette's over here, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a layer mask. All right, and if I click on this tiny little button right here, it looks like a rectangle with a circle inside of it. That is the Add Layer Mask button. And there we go. So now I have a layer mask, and you can see, yeah, the white background isn't that much different, but this is just the plain white background of my background layer. Okay, and so now I have cut myself out. All right, so at this point, I am going to save my project. So I'm going to go to File, Save, Google Drive. There we go. Okay, so now it is saved. And we'll wrap it up here. I'll come back again with part 3, and I'll show you what exactly we're going to do to make that cool sort of combined look. That if you haven't looked at those demo files in the Google Slides slideshow that I posted on part 1, you should definitely look through those. Some work from my previous students in previous semesters. Some really cool stuff that some of them have come up with. So just to kind of get the inspiration going in your head, kind of get the idea of what it is we're actually doing here. All right, so check those out. Just a reminder, office hours, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 to 2. All you got to do is click that link in Google Classroom, and you'll be dropped into my office hours. So if you need help, you want to show me something, whatever, let me know. Okay. All right. So that's it for part 2.